Lesson 10-5, volume of rectangular prisms. And in this lesson, you learn to find the volume of rectangular prisms. And why is this important? Because knowing how to find a volume of rectangular prisms will help you find the amount of water needed to fill an aquarium. And of course, the word that we need to talk about will be volume. Okay? So the amount of space inside a three-dimensional figure is called its volume. You can investigate the volume of a rectangular prism by building a model such as this one. Okay, so we want to build a rectangular prism A so that it is 3 units long, 2 units wide, and 4 units high. Okay, so basically this is what it's saying. Okay, let me put you up here. So we're back here. We want to find the volume of this rectangular prism. Let's make this bigger. There you go. So let's take a look at this cube again. In fact, let's take a look at the same cube, okay, in the surface area section. So we haven't learned surface area. Surface area will be the next chapter. So this is, okay, this is a three-dimensional figure, and that's a cube. Let's answer the questions that follow. How many unit cubes did it take to form the bottom layer? So if you notice, okay, if I click on the replay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cubes. So I'll punch in 9 cubes here, okay, and click on enter. It says good job, of course, okay. And then let's do the next question. How many of these layers would it take to fill the entire cube? So just imagine this is one layer. How many layers would fill the entire cube? I would guess probably 3. Let's see. It says good job. Yes, it does. Okay. So 3 layers. Okay. In total, how many unit cubes were needed to fill the polyhedron or our three-dimensional figure? So that's our second layer. And this is our third layer. So 9 at the bottom, 9 in the middle, and 9 on top. So there are 27 cubes, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so there are 27 cubes. So basically, if you notice, when you talk about volume, it talks about the number of cubes that will fit in a three-dimensional figure. And that's the reason why the unit is cubic units. Okay, so the summary of volume of a rectangular prism. Okay, so the area of the base of the cube is 9 square units. Okay, and it took 9 unit cubes to form the bottom of the layer. And the 3 of these layers were needed to fill the entire cube because the cube is 3 units high. Okay, in general, to find the area of the cube, you can use this process. Find the area of the base, okay, and multiply the area of the base by the height. Okay, so basically, let's go back to our lesson right here. So if you build a prism with the length and width, with the length of 3, width of 2, and height of 4, okay, how many number of cubes will it fill? Okay, how many number of cubes will it need to fill that particular rectangular prism? Remember, they talked about in the video that if you want to find the volume, you need to get this formula down, base times height, where, remember, capital letter B means area of the base. Okay, this goes through with everything. So this is the general formula for volume. Whether it be a cylinder, whether it be a triangular prism, it's always big B times height, where capital B represents the area of the base. Since we are dealing with a rectangular prism, we want to find the area of, in a rectangular prism, the base is shaped like a, obviously, rectangle. So that means to be able to find the volume of our rectangular prism, we want to find the area of the base or area of the rectangle times the height. And we know for a fact when you're trying to find the area of a rectangle, okay, area of a rectangle is equal to base times height. And look at this one. This is lowercase b now because this lowercase b represents the length of a rectangle and h simply represents the height. So the area of our rectangle will be based length times height. Sorry, not the height will be represent not the height but the width of a rectangle. Okay, so let's do that again. The base will represent the length of the rectangle, and the height will represent the width of the rectangle. Okay, remember this from area of parallelograms. An area of a parallelogram is equal to area that equals base times height. Since it's a rectangle, the base is the length and the height is the width. So if we follow this formula, volume equals base times height, where the big B, capital B, represents the area of the base. We simply multiply the length and the width, and that will make up our capital B, and multiply it with the height. Okay, so if we do this, 3 times 2 is 6, times 4 is 24. There will be 24 cubes. Okay, and if you multiply all three, it's still 24. Same thing, if the length of your rectangular prism is 3, the width is 4, and the height is 4, we simply multiply all three, you get 48 for both. And in letter C, you get 12 cubic units for both number of cubes and length times width times height. Okay? So, let's cut that short. From the mini lab, we're able to find out that the volume of a rectangular prism will be equal to length times width times height. Okay, again, going back to the general formula for volume, which is capital B times height. And in this case, since it's a rectangle, capital B represents length times width, and we simply bring down the height, and that's how you get the volume of a rectangular prism. Okay, and it is always expressed in cubic units. Why is that? Because remember, when we looked at the animation, okay, it's a number of cubic units that will fit inside the three-dimensional figure. Okay, so it's either in cubic feet or cubic, or you write it as feet raised to the third power if the unit is in feet. Okay, and let's see how to apply this. We want to find the volume of a rectangular prism, okay, with a height of 10 centimeters, length of 6, and the width of 4 centimeters. So if we label this is our height, this is our length, and this is our width. And let's see how to solve this. First, of course, you need to find out that the length is 4 centimeters. Or you can switch it around. It doesn't really matter what the width, length, and height is. You can switch these three numbers around. So in this case, length is 4, width is 6, and height is still 10. Follow the formula length times width times height. Multiply all three. The volume of this rectangular prism is 240 cubic centimeters because the unit is in centimeters. Okay? Let's take a look at example number 2. Firewood is sold in units called cords. A cord of wood is 8 feet long, 4 feet wide, and 4 feet high. If you buy a stack of wood that is 8 feet long, 2 feet wide, and 8 feet high, is it equivalent to a cord? Okay, so let's see what we know. The dimensions of a cord, you need to know if a stack that is 8 feet long, 2 feet wide, and 8 feet high is equivalent to a cord. So what do we want to plan to be able to solve this? So if the volume of your stack is equal to the volume of your cord, then your stack is equivalent to a cord. So first we need to find the volume of your stack, okay, and of the cord, and then we need to compare. So this is what we do. Volume over stack is, again, going back to the formula, length times width times height, will be 8 times 2 times 8, will be 128 cubic feet. And let's take a look at the volume of a cord. Again, length times width times height is the formula. 8 times 4 will give you 128 cubic feet. So basically, the volumes are equal. So the 8 by 2 by 8 foot stack is equivalent to a cord. So to check our answer, all we need to do is use cubes to build a rectangular prism that is 8 units long, 4 units wide, and 4 units high. And then rearrange the cubes to verify that they can make a prism 8 units long, 2 units wide, and 8 units high. Okay? And the secret word for this particular lesson is Sherman. The secret word is Sherman. Okay? Thank you for watching.